Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, B-Fan Podcast. Thank you for tuning in, and as always, thank you for giving me a time. Today is a more, what will we even call this episode?
This is an interview. This is a birthday special.
Yeah. Oh, you don't have to be that close to
I
the
know, I
microphone.
realized
Yeah,
after.
after you can see this.
Sorry, guys.
All right, so, I'm with my friend, Samara, and she's helping me, interviewing me for,
I will be doing the interview.
yeah, but it'll be more like a conversation, but I guess more center focused on.
Get to
I don't
know Austin,
Yeah,
the
I
man
guess.
behind the mic.
Yeah, so I I don't know. What would I say? Technically, I'm 19 because my body is still on like Eastern time.
Well, it's technically not because you've been in LA, back in LA for another month or two. So,
So I'm not 19 yet.
no, you're an LA boy right now.
To my
so.
mom, I'm 19, but to myself and everybody around me, I'm only 18. So
He's just 18.
I'm just a boy.
Okay.
But yeah, let's just hop straight into it. Anything you had?
Okay, so first, can you drop the full name, full government name?
With my middle name too.
Yes.
Austin Xavier Enoex.
I like that. Is there any meaning? Like, did your parents pick your name for any reason?
No, it first started off hyphenated, so it was like
Okay.
Austin Covington Enoex.
Oh,
And
I
then I
like
had
that.
a best friend like before preschool. I guess you could say Montessori school,
Yeah.
and his middle name was Xavier. So I'm like, psh, fuck this hyphenated stuff. I'm going to the middle name life, and we end up getting the same middle name.
That's cool. So you like legally changed your...
Yeah.
That's nice. I've always wanted to legally change my name or like... No, I wouldn't, but
Yeah.
like I think that's a cool vibe.
Yeah,
And where are you from?
I'm from Detroit, Michigan. You can bring the mic down. Like
Down
you could put it right. You could put it on the armrest right there.
like here?
Yeah, and it'll still pick you up.
That's crazy.
Look, you can see on the little thing.
Hello? Okay. Yeah. It
you
works. Okay, tell me about your upbringing in Detroit, Michigan. I know
Yeah.
you went to an all-boys high school, but what was it like when you were a little boy?
And like
Mom and dad,
regular school.
siblings?
Both of my parents were separated like from the time I was born. I don't even think they was together before I was born. I don't know what they were doing to like say, all right, let's bring two kids into the world now.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, so I'm like, whatever. I'm still glad that they did it. Whatever they was going through, I'm pretty sure it was right for them at the time. So I respect that, and I wouldn't be here right now without
Right.
those choices. But I don't know. To me, it was really hectic growing up because it was a lot of going back and forth between
Yeah.
houses, and then not just going from mom's house to dad's house, but them also growing up into themselves and
Yeah.
then like moving literally from house to house while moving from house to house. So it was like
Did they have you when you were young?
when
When they were young.
no, I think my mom was like, she was born in 1982. She at 21.
That's young.
My dad was 24. That's young.
young.
That is crazy because I would be that age in 2
I'm
years.
turning 20 this year. Like, I cannot imagine having a child
Oh wow.
in a year.
Okay, yeah, you're right. That is, I guess, yeah, that is really young. But yeah, they were young, so they were still figuring it out. So I'm moving from house to house to house to house, and I'm not really sure how to conceptualize time as a kid. So it's
Yeah.
like, I don't know. I didn't really see a problem with it growing up because I'm like, this is life.
Growing
'Cause
up,
that's
yeah, you
something
know
that's like
anything else.
always been a part of me. But one thing I pointed out in an essay that I just wrote for my mind and body class is that brought a lot of stress into
Yes.
my life, like especially in terms of just going places now. When it comes time to like get ready to leave,
Yeah.
I get like super anxious because
Yeah, I know what you mean.
yeah, because the switch times would be on Sundays at 6:30.
Yeah.
So it was like I woke up and my entire day was dedicated to trying to make sure I had everything I needed for that week to go to the next house. And if I felt like if I would have forgot something, it would have been a long time since I saw it. So I have a fear just overly checking stuff before I leave the house. So I'll even bring stuff I don't even need. Like it'll be a sunny day and I'll be like, what if I
Yeah.
need this umbrella? So
Yeah, just in case.
Yeah,
I know what you mean.
So it's a big just in case thing, and I get super anxious and stressed when it comes to like leaving and going places. And I think that's what causes like my car to get messy, along with maybe ADHD. I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, so back to the whole parent situation. So that was that. But I really did stay busy as a child. So along with going to school, switching houses and stuff, I was really into extracurriculars. So like a bunch of sports. I started out with soccer, And for the record, my parents were always just so supportive in anything that I did, no matter what it was I did. They
Mm-hmm.
was like, all right, even if we not talking or not on good terms or whatever they had going on, that was grown folk business. We
Facts.
gonna both support Austin the equal
Right.
amount.
Yeah.
Whatever we got going on has nothing to do
Right.
with our child, and they did that with both of their children, my older sister as well. But this is my episode, so
Right. This is
but,
his, guys.
yeah,
Shut up.
this is
Everyone
my
shut up.
this is my episode.
Austin's talking.
Yeah, but so if it was soccer, football, basketball, baseball, in high school I got in the track. I learned how to swim. I was going to archery practice.
Okay, Archer.
Yeah, I learned how to golf. So whatever it was I was doing, it was like, all right, this is what you're doing, we got it. But it was never, they never taught me to just pursue something at 50%. It was always,
Oh my God.
if you going,
Yes.
if you going into something, make sure your heart
Yes.
is in it.
Yes.
And even if your heart not in it for the rest of your life, at least make sure it's in it for that period of time that you into it. So for I don't know how long I'm gonna be in the podcasting, but it's like, you know what I'm saying? Like, at least this is something I'm taking super serious. I don't take this shit lightheartedly, you know what I
Right.
mean? So it's something that I really want to get into, learn how to do, and gain any type of skill and knowledge that I can and bring people along the way with me. So if it was something I end up dropping in the next year or two, at least I put all my effort into it and I still walk away with the
How do you
skills.
how do you feel about like the idea of like going all in on something but then it not working out? But it's like you already like it's like the sunk cost fallacy,
sunk cost fallacy.
where it's like you've already put something you're like not into it anymore and you don't want to be into it, but it's like, well, damn, I already put all this effort, so I may as well keep going.
Oh,
But like, do you give yourself the permission to like jump around and like be fully committed to lots of different things at different times?
yeah, yeah. And people say it's very bad to multitask, but I really like to just be a multifaceted person.
Yeah.
I think if I was the type of person to just stick with stuff because I felt the obligation to,
Yeah.
I wouldn't be able to connect with as many as people as I do
Facts.
now.
Facts.
Like, people see me, greeting all types of people, all different types of
Yeah.
people, young, old, and they like, how do you know so many people? But it's really just because I understand so many different things on so many different levels that it's easy for me to
Yeah.
pick out pieces and points and people that I can connect with and then just connect with them like
Right.
that. So
Flashback to you like
yeah,
hugging the professor first day of marketing class. That was so funny.
Yeah.
I was like sitting with my friend and we were like off on the side and in comes Austin
in a
like,
yellow ass hoodie.
Yes, like class is about to start. He sees the professor. This is the first day, and this is like this older guy, huge room. They give each other a hug or like chit chatting. I'm like, of course, Austin. Like of all people,
Yeah,
like know who this man is.
And this
They're
is-
already buddy.
it's 200 people in this class
Yeah, it was,
too.
that
so.
was just such a of course like
and
okay, Austin.
I walked in kind of late too.
Yeah, you
like,
did.
It
You were
was
one
like
of the last people in
to
there.
walk in, and it was.
And you see the professor, and you're already besties.
I'm like, yeah, oh, what's up? And he like, man, what's up? So, yeah, it's just my ability to be in so many different things, but actually give it my attention. My viewpoint on, I'll say, multitasking is you're doing a lot of things, but you're doing it half-heartedly. You know what I mean? I know it's hard to like expand yourself out on different like areas. Yeah, in that case, multitasking can be super draining. But if it's like if you're just interested in a lot of different stuff,
yeah,
just pursue it until it just starts to drop. So I'm just saying, like, if you like art, radio, movies, and music, right? And every time you go into it, you giving it all you can, and then you feel like, you know what, this music thing not working for me, but I learned these skills from it. I can maybe I could take that energy I was putting into music and put it into radio. So now you got art, movies, and radio.
facts.
You watch
That's actually a really good perspective. Like it's
Yeah.
all building on top. Like
On top of
everything's
each
building
other.
on top to like.
so
one
just
thing.
yeah. So now you got art, and you say, I'm just not into drawing right now. It's not like if you stop, you unlearning how to draw.
Yeah.
When you get back to it, you might not be as good, but you still got the basic foundation of art. So it's like, all right, I'm not too much into art. It takes a lot of time. I want to focus on movies and radio. So now you take everything that you learn from art and music, and you put it inside movies and radio, and then out of those two, You either end up combining them and just putting all your energy towards whatever you just made, or another one end up dropping and you end up picking the latter. You know what I'm saying? So just take everything that you have and everything that you've learned and just use it to the best of your ability. And I'm not saying you gotta remember everything you did, but just start to take note on things that shit that just that starts to pile up. Like I'll say for sports, you know what I'm saying? I'm not going to the league anytime soon, but I took all the lessons that I learned in sports
Yeah.
and I put them towards how I pursue everything else I do. So in terms of discipline, you got to be disciplined with your art and sports, and you got to be willing to sit out on stuff to be ready for the game the next day.
Right.
The same thing, I prepare the same way for class and tests. It's like
Yeah.
I got to be able to sit some stuff down
Yeah.
so I'm at full capacity the next day. And then another thing in sports that I learned was my coach McCauley, he was one of my track coaches. He said hydrating starts now. And what he meant by that is if you got a track meet on Saturday, you're not going to start drinking water for the meet on Friday night.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So that's the same thing as cramming the day before the test. You might be in those type of situations, but stay out of those situations as often as you can. If it pops up, so be it. You're going to live to
Right.
see another day, but try to keep yourself out of those situations if you can help it. So at the beginning of the week, I'm hydrating. I'm studying on Monday if my fucking test is in the
Right.
next 2 weeks. So I'm studying 2 weeks before. I'm hydrating now.
Yeah.
And the earlier that you hydrate, the less water a day you have to drink. You know, if that makes sense. So instead of chugging
True.
2 gallons in one night, I can spread those 2 gallons out over the course of 2 weeks and be hydrated by the time I get to the game or get to the test. Those numbers are very like miscued, but
No, I get it.
It makes sense.
I'm picking up what you're putting down.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're Austin. We're growing up. We're going from house to house. 6:30 comes around. OMG. What happens when we get to high school? What is high school like? I know you went to
The
an
all-boys
all-boys school. And I say this because I went to an all-girls school.
Yeah.
All-girls Catholic school. My younger brother, he goes to an all-boys school. That's like really close to USC.
Mhm.
And I feel like you're one of the few people on this campus who like
Can relate to that.
yeah, can like relate to that experience.
Mhm.
And his high school, Austin's, is similar to my brother's high school because
Yeah.
it's a Jesuit school and it's like a predominantly white school or like a nicer school in the middle of
Mhm.
like
The
quote unquote the hood,
Yeah.
like a bunch of people of color around. So
Yeah.
tell me
So,
about that.
I feel like I got to give a little bit of perspective on, I guess you could say like elementary, middle school first before I can jump into high school. So elementary and middle school, dog, I ain't gonna lie. I ran them halls because I went to the same like
You
school.
ran the halls.
I'm telling you,
okay.
dog, like
Okay.
it was times like even in like kindergarten, first grade, I was teaching kids how to read because the neighborhood of my school ended up going from a test only school and we moved buildings to a neighborhood school. So you got all these neighborhood kids
Yeah.
coming in. It's not their fault that they either got like learning deficiencies or learning disabilities or whatever, or they just not picking up on information as fast as I was. I was always learning from people older than me. I was blessed to be raised by my great grandparents and my great I met
Wow,
my
that's crazy.
I met my great great grandma.
That's
I met my great
awesome.
grandma.
Wow.
I lived with my grandparents for a minute. I had so many sets of like elders around me just feeding knowledge into
Yeah.
me at the same time as having old soul parents that were, you know what I'm saying, they had their own faults and stuff or whatever they was going through, but they were still able to pour into me
That's
just
awesome.
all the stuff that they knew. So even as a baby, your brain is like still malleable. So from the ages 0 to 7 is when you want to pour all the information into a child because that's what's going to take them to the next step. Anyway, so kindergarten, first grade, second grade, I'm teaching kids how to read, how to spell their name, this and that. Shout out to Miss Thompson for that. Yeah, so like,
Because Austin was my calc teacher. He was my second calc teacher
yes,
last semester.
man, that was fun. But it was like, yeah, so those grades and then 5th to 6th grade, get to middle school, more or less the same. But at this point, I done met people coming in and out of school because I've been there like one of the longest. So it's like
Mm-hmm.
I know the faculty, I know the teachers, I'm cool with all the teachers, I know the principal, I'm good with the vice principal,
Right.
I know Mrs. Ray in the office. So it's like I
Yeah.
got pull and
You got
leeway around the
besties.
school, and I'm still getting good grades at the same time. So this is who I'm building myself up to be as I'm growing up. I remember I got to 8th grade, and it was Miss, I don't know if I want to keep dropping names. Miss GW, that's what we'll call her. If this episode ever gets to her, she'll know who she is. But it'll be days where she like, Austin, I didn't eat lunch today. Teach the math class. So she'd give me the pen
That's
and the
crazy.
book and
That's crazy.
the whiteboard, and I would go up and I would teach the class, and people would be listening to me
That's
asking
wild.
questions, and I'm sitting there doing all this stuff, and it's like algebra too, and I'm like, all right, the people just had it was just people trusted me at such an early age, and
Yeah.
I feel like I had a responsibility to lead from very early on, even if I
Was it like a welcomed responsibility, or did you feel like burdened by it, or like it was like a lot?
Oh, it was just something that I just felt came extremely natural, and I used to deny it because I used to be insecure about it and feel like if I don't know all the answers, I'm gonna fail everybody
Yeah.
around me. But I'm like, well, if they trust me enough to ask me the questions or to come to me for help, it must be something in me that they see that I can't see in myself. So it's either I'm gonna have to pretend like I see it in myself,
Yeah.
or just learn to get to know myself to understand that, yeah, Austin, you ahead of the game further than you think you are. And I think that happens for a lot of people. I said this in an episode with my friend Giovanni that a lot of the times we don't see our own potential. It's hard to recognize your own potential, but
Yeah.
people watching you grow up from the outside looking
Yeah.
in can see how you change as a person. So
Great.
people perceiving me is different than how I can perceive myself.
Right.
Just from a being a human standpoint. It's hard to observe yourself if you're not meditating for 20 years straight in a cave.
Right. Okay, so I want you to talk about high school, but I'm gonna ask the question like,
Okay.
I want to know how you perceive yourself.
How do I perceive
Like later,
myself?
not now.
Oh, later.
I want to like go chronologically. So we're
All right.
you're teaching the class in 8th grade.
Yeah, so
Now we're in high school.
yeah, we move on to high school, and I end up going to a school that nobody in my 8th grade class went to.
Right.
UAD Jesuit High School. It was like, to me, it was unknown because I grew up in the city, like in the city. So I'm thinking about, if you from Detroit, you'll know what I'm talking about. I'm thinking about King High School, Cass High School, Renaissance. Those like the triple threats. That's where all the city kids go. The neighborhood kids, everybody that know each other, they pick one out of those 3 schools. And there's other schools around the way. Schools you don't want to fall into, like East
Right.
English Village and Denby and them. Like, nah, you don't want to be there, dog. So,
Okay.
man, so the way I got into UAD Jesuit, I took a fucking high school placement test my 8th grade year that my dad made me take, that I tried to fail.
The HSPT.
No, not
Is
even
that
that.
the same one, or what do you guys take on the East Coast? 'Cause I think they're.
I mean, I think it's the high school placement test was the one that you took to get into the big 3 or like the city schools. This was
Oh,
a private
okay.
school, so you
No.
got to take day placement tests.
So because the private schools here, they all take the HSPT, and then there's one more, but I don't remember what it's called.
Oh, okay. So I took a general one and I took whatever UAD
Okay.
had. Like that was big
Okay,
test.
they're special school.
So I go there, man. I pulled up without a pencil. I barely had a calculator, and I met one of my best friends now. Like today, his name's Sean. Sean gave me a pencil for the test, man. I take the test.
Oh wait,
This-
that's so cute.
yeah, and this months before I even thought about even going
Yeah.
there or even understood what was going on. So skipping forward, I went to this basketball camp over the summer, and I was just balling out. That's when I was into basketball at the time. The basketball coach see me. He's like, you could tell he was observing me, and I ended up meeting another one of my best friends, 2 of my best friends. One of them passed away, sadly.
Oh,
But
that's really sad.
yeah, one of them passed away, but the other one is Julian. And I'll say the one that passed away is Solomon, bruh. Rip that dude. He was a really good guy, and I wish we would have got closer before what happened to him happened. But Julian was one of the guys that was like, dog, you got to come to UAD. And I'm like, man, whatever, nigga. Like, I ain't really paying attention to it. So I start to think about it, and I'm like, dang, this could be a good school or whatever. I'm not knowing what the school about, understanding Catholicism. I don't know what that is. I don't know what Jesuits are. I just know it's a nice private school. Yeah, we hooping. So basketball coach see me, Coach Donnelly. He like, man, where you gonna go to high school at? And I'm like, I guess Cass Tech. You know what I'm saying? That seemed like the best option because King it's a good school, but it wasn't as good as it used to be before.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like Cass Tech, like my next best option. So I was gonna go to Cass. I didn't got in, got my classes and stuff. So I'm just here with them playing around. He like, nah, you need to come here. And I'm like, why? He like, dog, just finish your application. I'm like, who gonna pay for that? Cause private school is not free.
Right.
So he like, did I ask you about all that? Like, hey, I said finish the application. So I'm telling my mama finish the application, and she all like, what application? So she not even knowing that I'm putting myself in these positions to where I'm giving myself the opportunity, and then my parents just reacting to it.
Yeah.
And it's not something that they get mad at. It just catch them by surprise, and they just be like, what the hell is he doing outside the house? How is he?
Yeah, so were you just like independent, just doing your... I guess you've just always been in your own world.
Yeah,
like,
so
doing your own thing.
now all of a sudden I got an offer to go to a private school with the scholarship. They set it up. I got the scholarship and stuff, so I didn't have to pay as much as people that were paying the full tuition. Almost like USC. So it's like, yeah, I put myself in that position. I get into high school, and boom, we get to the first day. I skip there. Man, for one, I ain't know it was all boys till I stepped up in there.
That's so funny.
It's till I stepped up in there, and I'm like, maybe the girls late.
No,
maybe the
not
girls
coming.
at the building across. Maybe we get to see them more often than I think. You know what I'm saying? Maybe we have events with them. So I'm not really grasping the fact that I'm in here with all dudes, and it was new because growing up, I've been to school with all types of boys and girls, and I went to school with a lot of Bangladesh people. So is that in Asia, Bangladesh?
Yeah, I think it's in
like
India or like near India.
Yeah, it's a part of is Asia a continent, first off?
So we need to go to geography class.
Yeah, we do.
And I suck at geography, so like if I'm saying you suck, but yeah, Asia's a continent.
Okay, we know that much. And Bangladesh is
It's
inside
like
Asia.
I think it's like southeast.
Yeah, somewhere. I'm not gonna butcher it just in case they listening. I love y'all. I got so much respect for anybody that practices the Muslim religion. But back to what I was saying. So I'm like, man, what? So one is getting adjusted to all boys. Two,
yes,
now,
between Thailand and India.
All right, cool.
Or Myanmar, but
all right, that's cool. So just getting adjusted to it. I got Julian. That's my friend. So it's like I know him, but he got his dudes because he been there since like 7th or 8th grade. So he got them. So I'm just floating around for like the first couple of weeks. I'm seeing people. I'm meeting people here and there. And I don't know. I was like the weird kid because I just didn't know what was going on.
Yeah.
Like I had my suit coat on and stuff because I thought we were supposed to wear suit coats every day. So they like, this dude still got his suit coat on. I'm like, yeah, laughing point. I'm like, we ain't supposed to be wearing this. Like, where the rule book at? I'm not reading the handbook, so I'm needing people
that's
to
so
like.
Funny.
Yeah, so just that first few weeks of getting adjusted was like, and then all of a sudden things just started to click. So I'm figuring out the classes. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna have to get adjusted to this work life first because I ain't never had no workloads like this, and this is new to me. So I'm getting into that, and I don't even know. I think it was through sports get men through a lot of stuff. If a guy finds out that you know how to play a sport, y'all gonna be cool because it's like, oh, he's good at this sport. Now when y'all playing a sport, it's not much. It's not about skill. Even though when you're good, it give you a little bit of advantage. But it's like, oh, now we can socialize over this one thing.
That's so interesting. I went to an all-girls school, so like I'm still like observing men, and I'm like, wow.
So I'll tell you this.
Different.
It was this study that was like, how did the study go? It was like men aren't good at meeting each other like just face to face. We got to be doing something.
Yeah. I remember hearing.
We got to be actively doing something. So that's why you'll find like guys who are super into cars have to work on the car while they just open up to their deepest life secrets. Like we have to have a task that's keeping that part of our brain.
I get it.
That wants to block out the emotional part of ourselves.
Yeah.
I'm assuming, and we got to keep that part occupied, and we can open up on the back end.
Yeah, I totally get that.
Yeah, so it's like I'm playing football outside. I'm playing football for like intramural football. If anybody know what intramural sports are. Doing football, doing basketball. So they figuring out that, oh, he's cool. So now I'm just talking to people. Getting cool with the white kids in class. They find out I'm smart. So now we working on stuff together. And high school was not like college. I'm going to tell y'all right now. In all boys schools, we all got each other back. I'm not going to give up all the methods, but understand that we working smarter and not harder. Some kids in there is studying their ass off. Other ones is like getting it, but we all helping each other get by. That's where the brotherhood part come from. Cause it's like, if we gonna be in this together, bro, I'm not about to be in here
I
just
feel the same way
struggling
about
by
college.
myself. I'm not struggling by myself.
I feel the same way about college.
Yeah, so it's like, yeah, no, we just get super close. One thing I feel like differentiates private and public is public. Yeah, you can help each other, but you're not gonna get as much as that friendship part. You know what I'm saying? Friendships are easy to come and go inside of a big public school, but in a private school, it's like, okay, it's just over 1,000 of us, and then maybe 200 in our 165 in our class.
See, that's even
Like,
bigger than my school.
yeah, so it's like we got each other, so you got to get each other back, and that forces you to grow a bond with each other. Man, so just going through high school, ninth grade, I ended up finishing out smooth. I joined the basketball team. People like, Austin's really good at basketball. Austin's a really cool guy. We're all friends, so I'm meeting people, getting to know people. 10th grade year come around, second year back, now I'm building on relationships because people are coming back in, and then we get a chance to build on relationships. And then COVID ended up happening, COVID happened my ninth grade
That was
year.
your freshman year.
Yeah, so I did
Wow.
not really get to experience high school.
Yeah.
Yeah.
COVID changed everything.
It did.
In not really the best way, not
Yeah.
even gonna lie, but because my brother's high school experience is way different than mine because he had most of his time on campus.
Yeah, I was just at the crib. So
Yeah.
we all get close together that freshman year. COVID happens. So we all helping each other through this new technology age of school. So you would imagine we getting even closer because it's like,
Right.
you got this homework, I got this homework. How do you do this? I know how to do that.
So would
Let
you
me
say it
FaceTime
was
you on
more
this.
about the school of it that brought you guys together and gave you that sense of brotherhood, or was it the school's mission statement and who they were as an organization? Or a little bit of both?
I'll say it's a little bit of both because especially in Detroit, I'm pretty sure this go across all Catholic schools across the nation. But I know in Detroit we got the Catholic League. You know what I'm saying? So you got my Catholic school, and then you got the Catholic League. So you got UOD Jesuit, De La Salle, Brother Rice, Catholic Central, and St. Mary's.
They have a St. Mary's here.
Yeah, that's and Loyola, but Loyola, that's
that's where my brother goes to Loyola.
But that's the big 5 or 6, and it's we rivals with each other, but the whole idea of the Catholic League is at the end of the day, we went to different schools, but me and you got an experience that we can relate on, even though it might not have been the same exact one. We
it's
understand.
A shared experience.
We understand where we coming from, so that alumni network go from just your school to the entire Catholic League. So it's not just UOD Jesuit I got connections to, but it's now I know people at De La Salle, Brother Rice, Catholic Central, St. Mary's, because you play against these kids in different sports your whole time there, and you get to know them, and y'all get closer, and then y'all guys. So it's I don't know, the guy bond different. So I don't know. 10th grade, that went smooth. 11th grade, I don't know, we was just getting back in, but at this point, a lot of the faculty know me. I'm cool with all my teachers because I've always been the type of person to interact with my teachers.
The chatterbox.
Yeah, and not even on I want to be the teacher's pet.
No, you just talking. It's just it's natural. We were sitting in. We had our math class together last year, and it would be him and the professor.
Just the whole time.
Yeah,
it's me. This me and his class at this point. Nobody wants to talk. That makes me so mad. Nobody.
I just
likes
can't
to
sit
interact
still for that
class.
long. I need to say something.
Yes.
Stay engaged.
Yeah, so I'm well, let me. So, always been the type to stay in contact with my teacher, ask some questions, never be afraid to ask questions. I've never been. Actually, I got insecure about looking stupid when I got really, I don't know, self-conscious of myself, of how I looked and who I was and what I was becoming.
When was this?
This was 4th, 5th grade.
5th grade?
This was very early on. I remember shit happening in Montessori school. I was 3, 4 years old. I can remember back that far, and even a little further. So it's I've been conscious for a long time. So a lot of the things that and get to people later in life really hit me early. So
Uh-huh.
I'm in 4th, 5th grade. Like, who is it that I want to be? Like, so
Yeah.
I'm asking
Yeah.
asking myself that question then, and I'm glad I kind of did, because I didn't get the exact answer, but I at least sparked. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying?
Get
Got the
it
spark. Got to
completely.
start the fire. That's an analogy I was developing on. I guess I couldn't tell you. Maybe yesterday or today. Was it today? Yeah, it was today. And it was like, to start a fire, the fire doesn't just start a blaze. It doesn't just happen. You know what I'm saying? You need the flint
Facts.
and the stone, right? Ain't that what the
Yeah.
flint and the
I don't
flint?
know anything
I
about
don't know.
that,
The
but
Boy
I get.
Scouts, y'all can come correct me if I'm wrong. My like God brother Michael was a Boy
My
Scout.
brother a Boy Scout.
Yeah, so maybe they could come on.
He might be able to.
I'll take the heat for that. But I
Yeah.
know you got to use flint.
It sounds right.
And then you got stone. You know what I'm saying? But boom, you spark. You got to find those first, and then you got to hit them together to make
Yeah.
the spark, and then you got to take the spark to this little piece of I don't know, like, not wire, but something that's flammable, I guess. In nature, something that's flammable, like hay or some shit.
Yeah,
Something
or
close to
grass,
hay. Yeah,
or-
yeah. Or like
yeah.
dead grass. And you got to put it on the dead
Twigs.
grass, and you take the dead grass and you put it inside the twigs, and you start little, and then you put some oxygen into it, and then you build on top of that. And that's really what life is. You got to pick up some tools and just start going at it and figure out the next step and the next step and the next step. And sometimes your fire may go out, and sometimes you might have to start over from the beginning. Sometimes you may be able to save yourself and just blow on the fire, give it oxygen, just give it a little bit extra attention, and then your flame will start up again. And the wood that you got to keep the fire going with would just be adding on new experiences, being able to keep learning, just being able to add to yourself. You are the fire. You got to be able to
Facts.
add to yourself, and as you add to yourself, well, your flame will grow. You know what I'm saying? And eventually, one day, you run out of stuff and your flame dies out, and then you just
Yikes.
go. Yeah, I mean, I know that
This
was
got dark. This
big
got
mortality moment right there, but yeah. So I don't know. Back to what I was saying though, like, I never been like super scared to ask a question or look stupid, and it's just simply because, one, I learned once you ask the question, 50 other people gonna raise
Right.
their hand, because you just got to be the kickstarter to the question
Yeah.
starter. And a lot of people are okay with being followers, if that makes sense. We have natural leaders, and then we have natural born followers. And I don't want to say a natural born follower is just somebody that can't think for themselves, but they don't have the capacity to lead an entire group, because once you're a leader, you kind of have to think for everybody else while also letting them use their individuality
Yes.
to help you lead them. So
Yeah.
being the difference between a follower and a leader is, like, I'll say, listening skills and just being able to take action. It's just you got to be able to listen to those behind you. Go ahead.
Do you know what Kanye said about that?
What do you say?
He said, like, it was like, are you a leader or a follower? I'd rather be a dick than a swallower.
Ooh,
Isn't that good?
that's a good one.
Yeah.
That's a really good one.
That's a really, yeah.
Might be my next Instagram caption.
Hey, I'll let you have it.
Yeah, that was a go. Whoever gets to it first. We can both use it. It don't matter. But
Yeah, I can't use it.
yeah, back to what I was saying though. Like, yeah, so some people are just natural born followers, and you can upgrade your position to a leader if you just take the time to learn the qualities. But some people are better at
Yeah.
having an expertise, and then they need somebody to help them use that expertise.
Yeah.
Clocks are clocks, you know what I'm saying? And within the clock is the turn thingies, what they call those?
The hands?
No, not the hands, the damn,
The motors?
I guess you could call them motors. It's on the tip of my tongue. It's right there, but y'all know.
I know what you're talking about because
Yeah.
it's on the tip of mine too.
So it's in there, and it's all working together to make this clock spin around. So followers and leaders is all based on being able to listen and being able to act. So if you just gotta be the one to start it. So I'll just be like, all right, I'll do it, because I don't feel like waiting on nobody
I
else.
relate to that.
I'm a Kickstarter. I gotta get it started now. We gotta get
Yeah.
it going, bro. Like,
There is strength, though, I think, to being not like a follower, I guess.
Yeah.
And like knowing how to do that, because it's definitely a different way of thinking.
Yeah.
And also, if you think about like where we are at USC, everyone had to have been like relatively remarkable to get here.
Yeah.
But like not everyone here is a leader. Some people literally like they know their place is to like just listen and like sit in the back of the room or not do anything. And I'm like, what?
But we need those type of
we need
people.
everyone.
And it's, I call them essential workers. It's like one thing I thought about. It was like, okay, we all have our own mindsets. Me, I feel like, again, I'm a natural born leader. So
You're an Aquarius.
Yeah. So I'm inclined to think that, okay, I have to lead the pack. And one thing I had to realize is that not everybody thinks like that. Isn't that crazy? And I have to sit back and say, well, we need people who don't want to be like super powerful. I'm not going to say super wealthy, but we need people that's going to be okay with being mediocre.
With being lame.
Yeah,
being
so
losers.
people there's people out here like they want to do plumbing.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah,
because it's a completely different way of
and
like conceptualizing life.
And we need people who are into cars to be mechanics, but not people who just want to work on luxury cars, but people who are okay with working on neighborhood cars or just being like the neighborhood mechanic, the city mechanic. And it's people in these positions, and we need smaller people. Not to say that we're above anybody, but everything adds up and people add on to each other, and everybody needs each other. So we need these people that are quote unquote small, people that are quote unquote lame. We need weird people to give us ideas. We need natural born leaders to vocalize these ideas. I would say we need thieves, but we need thieves to understand what safety means. It's just like
There's a reason for everything.
Yeah,
that's the concept of dialectism and like yin and yang. There's a lot of like philosophic and then also I guess religious like principles that just are fully centered around this idea of like we need like it's all about balance between like light and darkness, good and evil and stuff like that. You should look into it.
Yeah, I really love is it Taoism? Yeah, Taoism falls into yin and yang, right?
Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken. Yeah. I love that stuff. But
I never know if it's Taoism or Taoism.
Yes, I know the difference, but I don't want to just start picking my brain because it'll get stuck on the tip of my tongue. We'll be here all night. But, so I was saying all that to say, if kickstart it, if you feel like it needs to be started, don't wait on somebody else to do it, because if you wait too long, the time will pass. And that's another thing with like ideas and stuff. That's something I was understanding, is that ideas are I'm not going to say it's never a such thing as an original idea, but ideas are just made up from previous information that we learned and put together in a way that sparked something quote unquote new. But out of everything, it's a chance that the idea that you have to do something has already been thought of, but it's yours right now. So while it's yours, make something of it. You know what I mean?
Facts. So I live in a world where I'm like, no, it's just me.
Yeah.
I'm the only one who has this thought right now.
Yeah. And it's like, it's same thing even with this podcast. I had the idea for it for a minute, for a few years. And then it was like, okay, Austin, if you don't start it, I'm going to get an idea to somebody else, and then they going to do it. And then you're going to have to think of something new. So it's all about ideas choose who they want to be a part of, and who they end up becoming a part of have to act on that idea in a certain time frame, or it's going to leave and it's going to go to somebody else. In a big way, I was sort of conceptualizing this to like let people understand like this is real. It's like, have you ever been in class and you get an idea in your head and you want to say it so bad, but somebody else answered before you, and you go, damn, they took my idea. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of that manifests itself into real life. So if you got an idea, act on it. And damn, I need to get past the high school stage. So
wait, no, but because I have an idea. You can finish up the high school, but I'm gonna ask next about your perception of yourself now and like how all of that has like shaped
who I am.
Yeah, today. And like who you are as a almost 19-year-old.
True that. All right, let's see. where I was at in high school. Okay, by junior year, I knew a lot of the faculty. I was okay with, I'm more than okay with my teachers. Like, I can go to any of the teachers that I knew and get a good recommendation. You know what I'm saying? That's 11th grade year. Going into 12th grade year, much of the same. Just being Austin, understanding who people are and getting interested in their lives and just stepping outside of myself, and instead of asking, what can I get out of this person? It's more like,
What can I do?
yeah, what can I do for this person? How can I be one of the founding principles of the school I went to was, how can I be a man for others? So
I love that. Like,
that indoctrinated itself within
a
me
man for others.
without even trying. You know what I'm saying? It was like, it just, how can I be a man for others? And in turn, people are gonna want to be of help to you. You know what I'm saying?
It's just natural. I feel like, like, I don't know, there's a lot of teachings about like karma and all of that other stuff, but I truly think that like when it comes to like altruism and like kindness and like love, it literally always comes back.
Yeah, just be able to step outside of yourself and help people, and they might not always help back, but something's gonna happen.
Yeah.
And don't just do it because you think something or you know something is gonna happen back. Don't go give money to a charity because you think you're gonna get 100 times the money back. You probably never see that money again. But like, at least give it out the kindness of your heart. Because another thing I was learning is that the heart bumps the heart, when the heart pounds, or what do it do? Beats? Oh yeah, when the heart beats, it's beating like small electromagnetic waves. Like, it's creating an electromagnetic field around the body. You know what I'm saying? And that's what they call your aura.
Yes.
And your aura is who you are, and that's what's projected onto other people. So when you do things out the kindness of your heart, you like dead ass doing them out the kindness of your heart, and you begin to shape your aura in a way to where it's like, now people can read who you are before you even open your mouth. You just but you got to be aware of that principle, and then deliberately become that person if you're not already that person. And just, it's not gonna look the same as it may for everybody else. It might not look the same for you as it looked for me, and that's okay. You got to become your own person. So I got like awards in high school for like just being myself. Like,
which one did you, or how did it work at your school?
it was like, I don't know, the teachers nominate you for one of them. You get nominated for, and then at graduation is voted by the students, right? So the one I got nominated for was called the it's tatted on me, and I forget the name of the fucking
wait,
I got,
how many tattoos do you have?
2.
Okay.
I got these 2 on my shoulders, and then
don't you have one on your leg, or am I tripping?
yeah.
Was that not a real?
Oh yeah. Okay. But I got these 2 on my shoulders I got these 2 on my shoulders that represent, what are they called? These are the Labyrinth crosses, and that was the award I got from my school. It was like something. The description of the award was that the student was able to connect with faculty, was able to connect with students, and was able to do extracurriculars, and then excel at academics all at the same time, and just being able to build, just being a good person overall. This student was a good person overall, and that was given to me by teachers. Like, they had to vote on it. It was no say so in the student thing, and they gave that to me just by experiencing who I am. And I didn't know about the award. They don't tell you what the award is or how to achieve it, and it was just something I ended up getting for being myself. I was never trying to get.
That's really special.
Yeah, I wasn't trying to get nothing out of nobody. You know, I'm just trying to live on in life, and I got my own goals and aspirations, of course. But the only way to get to them is just by, just taking the steps I need to take, and just had impacts on people that you meet. And then the award that I got from the students at graduation was the leadership award. And the leadership award was the student that, I guess you could say, all the kids in that class, so it was 165 of us, felt like they can count on to be a leader. You know what I'm saying? Somebody that was cool with everybody, basically just cool with everybody. Like out of the 165 people I graduated with, I could tell you I knew for sure a good 80% of them. And even if it wasn't by like first name, we could recognize each other off experiences. And that's a student who has had a impact on every single student in the class, and that's voted on. You don't even get to like ask for the votes. You know what I'm saying? They send out the Google. We go into, I forget how we did it. I think we was in the gym or something, and then you vote for it, and it's like a process. So it's like it start with a big list, and then it goes down and it goes down and it goes down. We keep voting, and then that's not something you just ask for votes on. That's you can't. So
it's awkward if you're asking.
Yeah, it's not a campaign or nothing. It's just like they send it out and be like, all right, vote again, and then you vote, and then you get the award at graduation. And getting that award was like a big shock to me. I was like, dang, y'all. I mean, I know I'm cool with y'all, but by the time I look up from looking at my feet, I'm like, oh shit, I know almost everybody in here.
Right. So like we're talking about how our perceptions of ourselves don't always align with like the way that other people see us.
Yeah.
And like clearly, like you are a remarkable person. Like you're at USC, you've like lived this life, and then you've gotten those 2 awards. So like, do you think that right now your perception of who you are is like positive and then also actually representative of who you are?
Okay. I'll say in terms of like who I am outwardly as a person, even like when I'm by myself, how I interact with myself. Yes. Do I think it's a good, like, is it a good representation of me?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't feel like when I meet people or when I know people, I just give them who I am. You know what I'm saying? Like, just, I try to be as authentic as possible. And when I say as authentic as possible, I'm not saying when I'm upset, I'm yelling at them, or when I'm sad, I'm crying on them. It's like, however I'm feeling, if I can express it in a way that they can understand what I'm going through, and if I need space, I can get space, I do that. You know what I'm saying? So if I'm feeling some type of way, I'll distance myself until I can get my thoughts together and be able to express that out. Sometimes, even I'm not saying I'm the perfect human being at all either. It's been times where I've, like, I don't know, had outbursts, you know what I'm saying? But I'm human at the same time. So, okay, you had an outburst. For one, whatever was going on, it's not as serious as it was made out to be. You know what I'm saying? So be willing to apologize even if you wasn't in the wrong. And that's just something I feel like I've done a good job at getting good at. I used to be bad at that, where I feel like, oh, if they're in the wrong, they're in the wrong. I'm not saying nothing else to them. They owe me an apology. Yeah. Even though I may feel like I'm owed an apology, I'm going to apologize because I don't want that heaviness on my heart. So my perception of it is, you know what? Understand everybody for who they could be, because you don't know everybody, but try to give them the benefit of the doubt. Don't just think everybody is out against you, because how would you feel if somebody saw you that way and just thought that every action that you was doing was on purpose to get out at them? Basically what I'm saying, just don't take shit personal.
It's a very graceful way to live.
Yeah, it's just nothing against you. Nothing is ever against you. Even if all the cards seem against you, everybody is having their own thoughts.
Facts.
Nobody is truly... No
one cares.
Yeah, nobody is truly like...
attention to you.
Thinking about you. We're not saying that in a way to where it's like, oh, you don't mean shit. But it's like, stop thinking so much about what other people are thinking. I see people on a daily basis, and you know, they probably forget my face as soon as I walk past them. So I'm willing to do what you gotta whatever I want. So one thing that is really important to note is that people don't care what you do as long as it don't negatively impact them. You know what I'm saying? So if you want to be weird and dress weird or quote unquote weird or be yourself, do that as long as it's not impacting my life in any way. You know what I'm saying? Like, just
Austin says no weirdos.
I love weirdos. You know what I'm saying? Just
never mind. He said he loves freaks.
I love being. not for.
I'm sorry. It was a joke.
I mean, oh nah, but nah, it's like just be all of yourself as long as it's not at the inconvenience of anybody else. Because once you start to impact somebody else, like that's when it's like they have to wake up from their little world and react to this. Yeah. So I don't know. When it comes to like stuff that I think about on my own, it's really like, like I'm good at like outward life. You know what I'm saying? Just being able to become friends with a lot of people.
I feel like you flow. You like know how to flow.
Yeah, but when it comes to like, I guess you could say like love life, I really don't understand it, and it's like I really don't understand it, and it's just I don't know, something that I'm figuring out day by day, and it's
you're never gonna figure it out until that one day you do. That's what I'm guessing. That's
I think that's how it goes, and you just gotta and anybody else that may think the same thing, just go with your gut feeling on stuff, and usually it's probably right.
Fuck around and find out. Yeah. Just kidding.
But yeah, so in terms of like understanding how I act out towards people and who I am around people, I feel like I got a pretty good perception of that. But also, what I like to kind of do is to make sure I'm continuously building on it. I've been like writing down, like keeping up with myself in a way, like just understanding how I'm going through the process of life and understanding like the accomplishments that I'm achieving. You know, I kind of forget sometimes that I'm a freshman in college, and the things that I've been able to achieve in this year alone, moving to another state across the country, it's kind of insane.
California
knows how to party. California
in the city.
Yeah. But man, it's crazy, and just being able to just every night just oh shit, I forgot to write for today. Whatever. If you miss a couple of days, that's cool, but had to just confirm my own. but yeah, so I just try to keep up and keep like weekly check-ins of myself of who I'm becoming and what I'm achieving, and that I feel like that allows things to flow a lot smoother, because after a recap of your week, you see how you were in the situations that you were in. You start to remember the situations that you were put in, so you know next time when this happens, oh, I don't have to react that way. Let me make sure I apologize to so and so for this, this, and that. Because even though it may be something that you feel like has blown over, everybody has their own way of thinking of stuff. And if you feel like you did something to somebody, or if you did do something to somebody, that's still lingering on their mind as well, maybe. You know what I'm saying? They might have tried to put it out, but it's important to, even if you think it's blown over, go apologize for it if you haven't. And just address that situation for what it is, because the thing about the human mind is one thing it ain't gonna do is forget. You know what I'm saying? You can forgive and you can let go, but it's not gonna forget that moment if the moment wasn't quote unquote completed in their mind. Like you might be done with it, but they might not be. You know what I'm saying? So you gotta go back and make sure you cross all your T's and dot all your I's. Just make sure you don't got no bad blood with anybody. And a quote that I really hate is like burning bridges, shit like that. Nigga, don't burn a bridge. Excuse me, I'm trying to stop saying the L word on the podcast because it's going out to like way more than black people. Now that I figure it out.
So it's crazy. Let's let our other non-black friends learn about it.
Yeah, they can hear it, but this.
Oh, true. Actually, not mixed company. Never mind.
It's okay. I love everybody who listens, but
facts.
Yeah, dog, don't burn no bridges, dog.
True, don't.
Because like you don't never know when you're gonna have to cross that mug again.
And also, there's no need to burn it.
Yeah, like
just save the fire.
Yeah. So, you know, to bring in back the labyrinth cross that I was talking about, the labyrinth cross is basically like a maze, and it's like you got an entrance, and then along the path of life, it's like a maze. So you're meeting all these different people, and in the maze, you're gonna go back sometimes, and you're gonna meet the same people and reconnect with them, and then along the lines you may meet new people, and then there's one way in and there's one way out, and that's through life and then through death. So you come in,
Ooh.
you meet all these people, and then on your way out, you saying bye to them, I guess. So boom, you out, and that's what these labyrinth crosses symbolize for me. You know what I'm saying? It's like being able to meet as many as people as I can, connect with as many as people as I can, not because I want to be uh the most popular, but just because I like to learn from a lot of different people, and a lot of different people have a lot of different information in them. And you know, I really appreciate when people come up to me and talk to me about the podcast and tell me that they listen, because I'm like, oh, people actually listen.
It's gonna, like, this is like, it's an important thing. Like, I feel like the podcast is gonna like be around at least for college, because I think it gives. I mean, we go to school and we were talking about this, but like you forget that so many people here are really smart or like interesting, or they have things to say or things to share.
Yeah.
So I feel like this creates like a really like safe and like comfortable and like special platform to like.
And they like.
And that's important to like give voices to people.
And then, so I don't know. Getting up on 55 minutes, but
it's about time to wrap up the birthday.
Yeah. So I get to this is that a good sole purpose. I thank you if you made it this far, but a good sole purpose of this podcast is to give people that I know and that I meet a platform to tell their stories. You know, because there's people out here that have stories that need to be told. And again, I got the idea to do this because I wish it was a platform that had people tell their stories and not just some niche, you know what I'm saying? Just stories from all over, from all different types of people. And I'm like, if anybody gonna do it, it should be me at this point. So
hey, the Aquarius, I'm telling you, you need to look up like the age of Aquarius.
Yes. So I'm getting my friends on, I'm getting professors on. Soon enough, you know, may have celebrities on. You know, it may reach out to celebrities. This might be the episode, but stuff like that. This is
calling all celebrities.
Man, anybody that want to get on, come on. You know what I'm saying? Share the episode, because it helped me and it helped you out. The more you share the episode, the more I get to interact with more people.
Like, comment, and subscribe.
Like, I tell y'all this, if y'all still listening, I got an episode coming out with a dude. I did the episode with him. He live in New York. And I did it over the computer.
That's crazy.
And it's gonna be really good. His name is Brian Airstock. Really cool guy. And then another guy that came to mind when I thought about people just interacting with me is my boy Aurelio, and he's in our marketing class, but he's in my marketing discussion. Okay. My boy Aurelio, dog, he really cool guy, came up to me, introduced himself, and I'm like, man, that's dope. And that's just because he felt like he wanted to connect with me. I'm like,
he listens to your podcast, or he wants to be.
I put him on to it because he didn't know. He was like asking me like what type of business and stuff I had, because he had just heard what the professor was saying and he was paying attention. But really dope dude. So interactions like that and people swiping up, listening to the reels or whatever. That I wish I recorded this, but that's what.
You'll have to imagine what we look like in my apartment.
Cool.
All over. Yeah. Candles burning.
I'm sitting in this big
the beanbag. Everyone loves it. Anytime anyone comes over, cool. They sit in it.
So cool and dog. And
all right.
Yeah.
I need to get. What is the one thing that you want to tell yourself? Oops. Hit myself. What is one thing that you want to tell yourself, your future self, in like a year from now? Like, what do you want to say?
Let's see.
This is the thing that.
This is for my 19-year-olds.
Last thing you hear as an 18-year-old.
This is okay. This is all right, Austin. This is going to you. For one, I'm pretty sure it worked out. Whatever you're thinking about right now,
it worked out.
It worked out. Travel the world, see everything that you could see. Money coming soon. I'm telling you, like this coming from the 18 to the 19, dog. I know the money coming. You're going to be the one to get it year after maybe, but just find love within yourself before you look for it in other people. And be sure that, and don't be scared to just meet people. You know, I know you big extroverted guy, and sometimes it gets scary to meet people, but keep stepping out like you do. Keep introducing yourself to these big names, these authors that you meet. I met an author today, but
Really?
keep meeting these authors, keep meeting these movie stars, and keep putting yourself in environments and getting in environments and making the most of your opportunity. That's what I say. When you feel the opportunity is right, that's when you do it. And keep trusting that gut feeling and building your intuition. Much of the same shit we've been doing. It's nothing too new. It's nothing I could tell you that's really too new. Just keep on going being you, dog. And thank you for... Wait, I got you this far. You should be thanking me at this point. Anyways, yeah, how would I do that? Well, I'm glad I got to run this race before you ran it. You know what I'm saying? And just know, I'm handing you this stick. You got some big shoes to fill in, nigga. We went crazy for our 18th year.
That was pretty like. That was a long sentence.
Yeah, my bad.
That was a run on.
That was for me. That if any.
No,
I don't
that
even know
was
if
cool.
anybody
No,
got
that
this
was
far.
cool. You just looked that up.
All right, but thank y'all for listening, dog. And happy birthday to me, I guess.
Happy birthday to Austin. He's
Thank y'all.
19 years old.
Man, this is crazy.
Last year as a teenager.
Oh, you ain't gotta say that.
I mean,
True
it
that, though.
hits.
Let's end it. All right. Thank you for the interview.
Bye. Thank you for listening.